Cobra Kai Season 5, Episode 10, Season Finale. We have reached the end of Cobra Kai, the head of the snake. And it's your boy, Icon, with a final Netflix review for you, going over some Cobra Kai. And it was a good finale. It was a good finale, I do have to say. And the finale starts where, because we saw that, Daniel and everybody, they got hijacked. And I thought Terry Silver had paid somebody, because I'm like, what kind of connections does this man have? Come to find out, he did not pay somebody to hijack their limo. Mike, who is the guy who got his furniture store burned down by Terry Silver, he hijacked the limo. And he was going to whoop LaRusso's ass. And then, that's when LaRusso was like, no, it was Terry Silver that did it to you. And then him and Johnny got into it. And he was like, who's this guy? Well, who's this guy? And then they ended up being more alike than you thought. And then, everybody was drunk. Like all four of them were drunk. And then they were just, Mike was just like, look, I'm sick of Terry Silver. I'm sick of all this shit. He's like, I'm going to go down to his house. And I'm going to punch him in his face. And then Johnny was just like, yeah. He was like, I like this guy. Let's go down there. And then Daniel was just like, no, don't do it. And then he was like, Chosen. He was like, talk some sense into them. And he was like, I know Terry Silva address. And I was just like, really, dude? So the three of them, they get in the limo because Daniel didn't go. And they go down to Terry Silver's house to kick his ass. And then, Daniel stayed behind and he tried to call Sam. And then he was just like, yo, I'm stranded in the middle of nowhere and you got to come get me. I'm going to ping your phone right now. And then she was just like, oh my God, because her and Carmen were at the house. And then this mysterious car pulled up at the house. And then she was like, oh my God, Daniel, someone's here. And he was like, who's here? Who's at the house? She was like, it's Cobra Kai. And when she said that, not only did I start laughing, the first thing that popped into my mind was it's obviously Stingray, because for her to say it's Cobra Kai, no one got out of the car yet. So there was no way she would have known it was and then it's like his wife doesn't know who's in Cobra Kai aside from like Tori. So the only way she would have known was if the Cobra Kai logo was actually on the damn car. And if the logo was on the car, then I was just like, then it's obviously Stingray. So Stingray, he goes to the house, he swoops up the women, and then they go get Daniel. Daniel almost got into a fight with some country bumpkins, but then Stingray showed up, Daniel got in the car, and the four of them drove off. They were just like, oh, Johnny and everybody went down to Silver's house, and then he was just like, well, we got to go save their kids, because what happened was the kids, they they came up with a way of trying to expose Silver. They needed the camera footage of him actually beating up Stingray, so this way they can, exonerate the whole thing, and they can get Silver arrested. They had to go into Cobra Kai headquarters to access the server. So they all go into Cobra Kai because Tori had the key. They go into his office, and Silver had a camera in his office that was filming them. So Kim saw that, and she was like, oh, the Miyagi-Dos, along with Tori's trading ass. She's like, they're at Cobra Kai headquarters. And then that's when Johnny and everybody bust through his front door, and he was like, they're attacking us on two fronts. So he texted all the kids from Cobra Kai to go down to the dojo and beat up the Miyagi fangs. So this way he can teach them, so he can stop them. And he said, I'm going to take care of Lawrence and everybody here. So, but because of that, Stingray was actually on the Cobra Kai group text. And because he was on the Cobra Kai group text and he read the text that the Miyagi kids were going to get beat up, that's when he had a change of heart. And he went down to, to Daniel's house and scooped up the parents. So like I said, so Daniel, Carmen, like Amanda, they're on their way down to Cobra Kai. They get to Cobra Kai. They can't get in. Stingray beats up the people. And that was actually a pretty good thing, because logic does have to play a part in this at some point. Because when they got to Cobra Kai, Amanda was like, oh, this is ridiculous. I'm calling the police. And then one of the Cobra Kai guys, he was like, go ahead and call the police because your kid's broke in here. And then she was like, ah, shit. And I was like, you know what? Thank you, because out of all the kooky, crazy karate nonsense that's been going on, logic does set into a point where a person's going to be like, screw the Miyagi shit, let's just call the cops. But they actually came up with a legitimate reason why you couldn't call the cops. Even Terry Silver, he said to Chosen, he said to Mike, and he said to Johnny, he said, y'all just broke into my house. So if I kill you, or if I whoop your ass, that's perfectly legal because you in my house. And the same way with the kids, because the kids broke into Cobra Kai. So the kids are upstairs, they access the server. The footage of Terry Silver beating up Stingray actually got deleted. So Silver covered his tracks in that regard. But Tori said said there was another clip that they could find and pull up, and then she had the guys pull him up. While they were pulling up the footage, the Cobra Kai kids showed up, and then the whole room was like 50 Cobra Kai kids, along with like the 9 Miyagi-Do kids. And then surprise, surprise, we got our big brawl, because every season ends with a big teenager brawl. We got the big teenager brawl with the Miyagi fangs versus the Cobra Kai. But then somebody was just like, how did the Cobra Kai kids even know we were here? And then that's when the fat kid that they keep calling Penis Breath, he crossed over to enemy lines, and he unzipped his jacket, and he had on a Cobra Kai t-shirt. Because we saw him earlier, he was admiring the Cobra Kai facility, he was admiring the juice bar, he was admiring their clothes. He basically warned them, and he let them know what was going on because he's a traitor. But then the Asian kid, he was like, well, Tori's on your side now, so basically y'all got a traitor and we got a traitor, so we're even. He's like, and now it's time to kick some ass. Kenny immediately went after Robbie. Lee was there. She was fighting Tori, and Tori was trying to talk her down. Kenny was going at Robbie. Kenny hit Robbie in the chest with the fist thing between the ribs that sucks out your lungs and everything. And then Robbie went down. Then Miguel saved him, but it was like this whole big thing. It was pretty cool. It was a very cool fight scene. Even then, and then Kim showed up. Kim showed up, and then Kim was fighting Tori. She whooped Tori's ass, obviously. And then that's when Sam came over to try to help Tori. And then that's when Lee showed up, and then she was like, it's your chance to be champion. And then she was like, I will be a champion, but not through Cobra Kai. So then now Tori and Lee together, they were fighting Kim, and Sam went to go protect her brother, because the footage that they were uploading to the server was actually being done via Wi-Fi. So Sam's brother had the tablet that was having the upload. They were trying to get the tablet from him. And as soon as her brother picked up the tablet, and then somebody was like, oh, how much, when the upload was happening, they were like, how much to upload? And he was like, 90%. Once he picked up the tablet, I said, here goes the protect the egg shit. And then lo and behold, they surrounded him, and then Miguel was like, protect the egg. And it was cool. It was nice. Like it was cool because we saw this in the previous episodes, but when those moments were about to happen in the episode, you knew it was coming. So they did the whole protect the egg, because remember, the brother can't fight, and they protected the tablet got uploaded. And then meanwhile, back at the house, Terry Silver is fighting Chosen. They had like a sword side battle, which was cool. Terry cut him up a little bit, and then, he got distracted at one point, and Terry sliced him in the back, sliced him in the leg, sliced him in the arm, and then Chosen fell in the water. Mike got knocked out, but, and kudos to him, because he was like, yo, I don't give a damn about all this martial arts shit. He just picked up the kid and ran him into a wall and punched him in the face. So, but then they hit him in the head with a vase or something. He was knocked out. Chosen was knocked out. Terry Silver was like, I'm on my way to, to the dojo. He was like, yo, finish off, like Johnny. Johnny, for, to his credit, he did a very good job of holding off 4 people. He got his ass handed to him tremendously, but he did a good job of holding off 4 people. And just when he was down and out and didn't have the courage to go on, or the strength of the eye of the tiger, the sonogram picture of his baby fell out. And when he saw the picture, he got rejuvenated, and then he went out, and then so he started kicking ass and taking names. But then, he kind of like faltered a little bit. He did a good job up to a certain degree. But then when he was about to get, they was about to deal the final blow to him. That's when, Chosen, Mike got up, and then Mike helped him, helped him defeat the rest of the guys. When the black dude got his finger chopped off, and then they went to go find Chosen, who was like passed out in the water. So now back at the dojo, when the upload finally went through, it was footage of Tori having the conversation that she had with Silver, where Silver admitted that he rigged the tournament, like the All Valley tournament. Tori was just like, I would have won. And he was like, but you did win. Paying off the ref was just, and he literally said that. He said paying off the ref was just an insurance policy. So now he's busted, and that shit got uploaded like for everybody to see. And then once the Cobra Kai kids saw that, they were just like, well, damn. And then even Kim looked disgusted, whatever. And then, that's when the Cobra Kai kids were kind of like, faltering. Kenny had stopped for a second because he was just like, this shit is a sham. And then that's when Terry Silver showed up, and then he was just like, oh, this changes nothing. And, because the thing is, Terry Silver knew he was done at that point, but he had to save face. So he was just like, oh, he was pretending. He was like, oh, that changes nothing. And he said, I already kicked your ass, LaRusso. Because his whole thing is now, because he lost the legal battle, because they busted him on footage, he wanted to discourage the Miyagi Fang kids, and he wanted to reassure the Cobra Kai kids, because he said, if I can take out LaRusso right here, then, say that I can put the final coffin in Miyagi-Do once and for all. And then he told him, he was like, yo, come get some, LaRusso. His wife told him to go get some, and then he was like, and then he told him, he was just like, Miyagi-Do will survive. He said, although the tree is down, the roots are strong, and it'll grow back. So he was just like, fuck yo, Miyagi-Do. And the two of them went in it, and Daniel finally got his one-on-one with Terry Silver that we've been waiting for all season, the rematch, because Terry whooped his ass the first time. This time, using Miyagi-Do as far as like not striking first, Daniel was also smart enough to use Terry Silver's moves against him, because he knew what moves were coming. He blocked like the chest thing, and then he hit him in the chest to take his breath away. Then he's like, if the opponent can't stand, he can't walk. If he can't breathe, he can't fight. And if he can't see, and then when he had knocked Terry Silver up against the wall and had him down for the count, Terry Silver grabbed a trophy, and he was going to waffle Daniel with the trophy. And then that's when Daniel bust out the crane. When he bust out the crane, he hit him with the old crane. And I'm glad Johnny wasn't in the room when that happened, because Johnny would have had like PTSD, like lost his shit. So he bust Terry Silver with the crane kick. He knocked Terry Silver out. Nostalgia moment. Cobra Kai saw their leader fall to his knees. And then after that, then I don't know what happened to Kim after that, because after Terry Silver was defeated, she just rolled her eyes. And when the cops showed up, she was gone. I didn't see her talking to the police. I didn't see her in the back of a squad car. I ain't see nothing. So she just snuck out the back door. And I thought at that point, because Terry Silver did get arrested when the police showed up, I thought Kim was going to take over Cobra Kai. I thought there was going to be like an end credit scene where Kim is like, Cobra Kai. Because the thing is, Cobra Kai is based on her grandfather's teachings. So I thought she was going to come out and be like, Cobra Kai now belongs to me. And like I thought it was going to be her whole thing. But that didn't happen. And, then after that, then Kenny and all the kids, even the Asian kid, like everybody took off their Cobra Kai t-shirts, threw them at Terry Silver, and they walked out and they quit. Like after everybody quit, everybody went outside, and then, Robbie and Tori, they ended up kissing each other. Miguel and Sam made up, and they ended up kissing each other. And then, Johnny showed up, Johnny and Mike showed up. Mike stole a painting from Terry Silver's house, because he was like, I can sell this shit and get the money back to repair my business. So, so Mike's okay. Mike's taken care of. Johnny saw he saw Carmen. I thought he was going to ask Carmen to marry him, and he didn't, but he's on his way to the hospital. Chosen showed up, and they put him back in the squad car because he had a flesh wound. And then Robbie actually did try, he tried, like he did walk up to, to Kenny, and he did try to talk to Kenny. And then Kenny was just like, yo, bro, he was like, yo, now's not the time. He was like, yo, we gonna have a conversation, but not today. And then he walked away. We didn't get to see Lee. It would have been nice to see Tori and Lee have like a final conversation or whatever, to see, like if she joined Miyagi-Do or not. But we didn't get that, we didn't get that either. Everybody was just there, just watching Cobra Kai fall. We saw Terry Silver be put in the back of an ambulance, and then, they were just like, oh, now that Terry Silver's gone, I hope him and Sensei Kreese rot in prison together. And then that's when the cops were just like, oh, you didn't hear about Kreese? And then they were like, what about Kreese? And then it showed us earlier in a scene where Kreese was talking to his therapist, and while he was talking to the therapist, he told her that, he deserves to rot in prison or whatever. And she was just like, no. She was like, find the strength to keep going. And he tried to do a thing where a fight broke out in the cafeteria, and Kreese tried to break up that fight in the cafeteria. When he tried to break up the fight, he got stabbed. And I thought it was weird, because the guy who stabbed him was the guy who was actually like his biggest supporter, or the guy who was like his number one follower. So to me, I thought that was a little fishy. And in my mind, I was like, yo, he ain't dead. But then, like they took him, they wheeled him, they put him in an ambulance, they got him into a hospital, they thought he was dead. And then when they got him into a room where there was a doctor, the doctor was looking at his wound. And then that's when the doctor realized, he was like, this ain't blood, this is jello. He said, this is melted jello. Then Kreese got up, whooped up on the police officers, beat up the doctor, took his coat, and walked out. And then that's how the episode ended, with Sensei Kreese walking out of the hospital. And thank you for tuning in. Here's where I'm confused. And obviously, I understand Sensei Kreese didn't know this. But the whole thing about Johnny saying, oh, Kreese, I hope Kreese and Silver rot in jail together. Because Stingray at the end, Stingray was talking to the cops, and he retracted his statement. So he told the truth about who really attacked him. So for Johnny to make that statement, Kreese should now be released from prison, because Kreese didn't go to jail for multiple offenses. Kreese went to jail for assaulting Stingray. now that Stingray finally told the truth, Silver should go to jail and Kreese should be released from jail immediately. So now that Kreese broke himself out of prison before he got a chance to be released, well, they presume he's dead. He just messed himself up because now now it's like he was about to get let out of jail. Not only did he escape from prison, he faked his own death. So like now he's going back to jail. So at some point in season 6, he's going back to jail. And that's a fact. Like Kreese is done. Kreese shot himself in the foot. And then he stole the doctor's, like badge. Kreese fucked himself over. So I don't know how he gonna bring Cobra Kai back, whatever. And then there's the whole thing about the All Valley World Tournament because Cobra Kai is still entered in the tournament. Well, I assume once the board finds out what Terry Silver did, they'll probably kick Cobra Kai out of the tournament. But Miyagi-Do's still in the tournament. I'm pretty sure Kreese, if Kreese retakes over Cobra Kai, Kreese will find a way to get Cobra Kai back into the tournament. But now it's like, are we still having the tournament? What's going on with the tournament? Johnny and the baby, which I assume is a girl. Like, there's so many things that can happen here going forward because it ended on a note where it felt like a season 6 was coming. So we're definitely going to get more of that. But the big question is, are we still doing this world tournament? And what's going to happen with Sensei Kreese and what's going to happen with Cobra Kai? Because Kim straight up disappeared. So share your questions and comments and or concerns down below. So I enjoyed this. I definitely enjoyed this. I enjoyed reviewing it one episode at a time because it did give me a chance to process what the hell was happening. But, let me know specifically. Did you like the fact that I reviewed it one episode at a time? Or would you like to see me just watch the whole thing in one weekend and then do one big video based on the entire season? Keep in mind, if I do that, some things might get left on the table because there's no way I'm going to be able to sit down and talk about 10 episodes in one review. I'm not going to remember everything. But like I said, but share your thoughts. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see and how we will proceed going forward. Hit me up on Twitter and or Instagram, always on YouTube, because we still got Stargirl on the channel. We're still doing She-Hulk. And like I said, when September comes to an end and October comes around, we still have the returning Titans. So like I said, so that was it. Cobra Kai is in the books, my first Netflix review, so I'm excited about that. I'm happy about that. Thank you for everybody that watched my Cobra Kai reviews. Thanks for everybody that enjoyed my Cobra Kai reviews. Anybody that put a like on the channel, gave me a view, put a comment on, I appreciate you, and I love you all dearly. So till next time, guys, for the final time for this season of Cobra Kai, take care, keep your fist up, keep Miyagi-Do close to you, and until we meet again, sayonara, because I am out. Miss Miyagi.